Okay, I'm going to test the Ecogoo 9100 VFD. It's a dual stage VFD. As you can see on the power plate for it, single phase input, 220 volts, and up to 7.5 kilowatts output at 3-phase 380 volts, maximum 16 amp. Now the 16 amp is the motor output, not the input power. The input power is a lot higher than that, probably up to about 30 amps maximum at full load. For this test I'm not using full load. You can see by the cables I've got in, that cable is not going to handle 32 amps. It's running off a 13 amp plug, so I'm not exceeding the 13 amps on the input. There's a fuse inside there at 13 amp. It's running a 6,800 watts HSD high-speed spindle, 400 hertz, which is 24,000 volts. Sorry, 24,000 RPM at 400 hertz. Maximum 16 amps, so that's a 7.5 kilowatt. Up to 7.5 kilowatts at a push. It's a high-speed spindle. I had to add the braking resistor onto this one. And this braking resistor is only rated at 250 watts, 50 ohms. I got it running through an overload. I've set the startup time to 5 seconds and the braking time to 5 seconds. This is how she starts it up. If I press the start button, let's see if it starts up nicely. That's straight up to 24,000 RPM. Right down there to 18,000 RPM. 12,000 RPM. Back up to 24,000. And then press the stop button and it should stop in 5 seconds. Okay, I was just dumped all the power that was in that motor to slow it down through the braking resistor. The braking resistor's got quite warm, just dumped an awful lot of power through there. I had to have the braking resistor on, otherwise it would overload. Now the one nice thing about these, it's a nice neat little unit. You can see my hand there, so you can see how small it is. I was very surprised at the package size. It was very small. It's probably about half the size of the Hawaiian ones. And the other thing that's really nice is the fan shut off once it's cooled down. So once the temperature of this drops back to where it should be, the fans actually shut themselves down, so they're not running 24 hours a day if the power unit's left on. The motor runs nice and cool with it, so all of the parameters are right. Braking resistor is required. They recommend 1,000 watts. Like I said, I only have a 250 watts here. Yes, that's what I'm running today. But it handles it enough. I just wouldn't want to do continuous braking with it, not without having a fan blown over that resistor to keep it cool. And I'd want it up in the top of the cabinet somewhere so it's not going to catch light or anything. But apart from that, really good little combination for running the HSD spindle from single phase. Okay, so that's the Ecogoo 9100 model. Oh, the other thing is, in the instruction book it says it does a lot of things. I don't know who they've copied with the actual programming of it. It doesn't do everything it says in the book. It does run Modbus perfectly, although there's virtually no instructions. It took me ages to work it out. You can see all my notes here, just written in pencil. Actually, it took me ages to work out because the Chinglish that they write it in is pretty shit. So yeah, it did take an awful lot of working out how to get that to work. But I do have the details on that, and I have run it on Modbus and it does work perfectly. So you can set all the parameters from Modbus. You can also start, stop it, etc. and set the frequency. You can also, if you had 2 spindles, like my machine's got 2 spindles, you can change it on the fly. So if it does a tool change to the other spindle, it'll run the second spindle at the parameters that spindle's supposed to be run at. So all in all, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's a cool little unit for the money. I think it was about £300 UK. Bought it in off AliExpress. Yeah, I've used this one for testing loads and loads of my equipment. Basically all the spindles that I test with it have all worked, so yeah, happy.